All right, hello, and welcome to this very first playthrough of NEVA. Last time we played through Chapter 3, Winter, and now we're going to play through Chapter 4, Spring. I believe this, according to the menu, this is the final chapter, which sounds about right. It's a 4-hour game. We've already spent close to 4 hours on it, so this is either a short chapter or the How Long to Beat time is going to be a little bit longer. Which happens. We'll see what happens. We kind of beat the big bad, so I don't know what to expect from this chapter. Okay, so is that a new youngling? Oh, Bruma? This is exactly how the chapter 1 started. Bruma! Oh. Oh. Okay. Is this exactly what it looked like at the beginning of the first game? I don't remember. I think that's the one flower in the... yeah. So there must not be much to do here. What are we doing? Oh. That's a deer. It's just a regular-ass deer. Don't worry about it. It's food for you. This happened at the beginning of the game, too, where I had to walk on both sides to unlock, like, whatever was happening next. Leave it alone, Bruma. Nubbins. Tell your child. Oh, we're just walking by? Oh. Okay. Bruma, come on. Quit fucking with that thing. It's gonna give you some disease. Good job. Good job, Mommy. I really have enjoyed this game. It's been a nice change of pace for me. Been playing a lot of intense games lately. It's funny, my memory is so garbage. Did I play? Oh yeah, the Indiana Jones game. Just forgot what I've spent the last week on. Bruma, down. Do you need help or what's up? Oh, he's going for it. Rip, those are all the 4 broken legs right there. Mom, you sanctioned this activity? It's dangerous. Reckless, even. Don't tell me the mom's gonna die like the mom in the original did in the chapter 1. That's not gonna happen, is it? I don't know if I want to deal with that this morning. Oh, the birds died. That's right, the birds started falling out of the sky. That was the... Oh, no. That was the catalyst for this whole thing. So is this just like a whole circle of life situation? If I was her, I'd be like, shit, you guys, watch out. Okay? I've seen this. Hell, Neva's seen this. She probably remembers. Tell your baby to stay away. And this is exactly like the beginning. So, what are we doing here? Just starting over with the new puppy? Okay, we should have run, man. This is exactly what happened to your mother. I didn't accidentally click on chapter 1, did I? I mean, is it any different? Am I just watching the same cutscene? Motherfucker. How did we just walked into this? So what, are we gonna beat it this time, or? 'Cause I'm pretty sure she got stabbed like a motherfucker. Yeah, what the fuck, man? How many? You gonna give me 2 dog deaths in a single video game? That's too far. That is too far. That is too many. Come on, man. Can't handle it. It's early. It's too early for this shit. Are we just watching the same fucking cutscene? I am not 100% convinced that I didn't just hit chapter 1. I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and look, but it's the same cutscene. Like, it might be exactly the same cutscene. That seemed, at that part, seemed like it might have played out a little differently. Like, it seemed like we defeated them, kind of. I don't remember necessarily that happening at the beginning of the game. But I've slept since then, so... That was 2 days ago, I don't remember. And this is exactly what happened. I guess I'll know when at the end of this if credits roll. Are we gonna do another, like, are we done with the actual game? Like, is this how it's going to end? So the games for impact part of this is not about the climate or whatever. I think it's about the, like, indomitable spirit of the of our animal friends or something. I'll have to read into it. Like, I voted for, I guessed that Tales of Kenzeraza would win that award. I can very clearly articulate what the, like, positive message is in that game. I won't, because I don't want to spoil it, but it's very good, and it's very poignant. I'm trying to, maybe I'm just too dumb. Okay, I don't think this happened. Is she gonna come back? That would be cool. That would make me happy. Or is she just turning into butterflies? That's less cool. Is that it? That feels like it's it. Okay, well, we did it. First things first, the bottom center of the screen saying things and not pushing the buttons. The bottom center of the screen says that we have beaten 103 games in 2024 and 550 since we started doing this in 2020. Those numbers are lies. They're lying. We've now beaten 104 games in 2024 and 551 since we started doing this. Let's go. All right, let's talk about the ups and downs of NEVA, shall we? Yeah, so I definitely have some thoughts. Most of them are good. The highlights of this game are in the visual presentation. The visual presentation, the watercolor art seems like something that would be simple enough that it couldn't really be that captivating, but some of the set pieces and imagery in this game are already really incredible, and then when you couple that with the presentation of this, like, watercolor look to it, it really makes it pop. And it's really just the way this game looks, sounds, is very, very good. So that's even better than most games like that. Like, this game is on the level of almost something like Ori. Maybe not quite that good, but that's like one of the... If somebody asked me what the most beautiful game in the world was, the first thing... I don't know if it would be my answer, but the first answer that would pop into my mind would be the Ori games. I think this is in that ballpark. So the fact that it's even in that ballpark is saying something. It really is God tier when it comes to the visuals. Now, when it comes to the actual story... you know, I'm a dog person, so you're always going to get me interested if we have, like, a dog-centric story. Now, I know that these aren't actually technically dogs because they have antlers, but come on, they're dogs with antlers, okay? And I love me a good dog with antlers. But it's you know, it's a very touching, heartwarming, very and it's very like, it's not like it's at moments it feels like an epic journey, you know, like this epic tale kind of a thing, but most of the time it's a very downplayed, very nuanced, very personal, intimate type of story. It's just a story between this girl and her dog. This game is, you know, it flirts with some ideas about saving the world from calamity and yada yada, but really the heart of what this game is about is this woman's relationship with her animals. And that is really a beautiful thing. It's very, very touching. And I don't usually get hit that hard in the feels by games in general, but you put a dog in a game and now, you know, we're playing with fire. So I did like that. I do think that there were some issues with the story, most notably, well, a couple of things. I didn't really like the ending because I didn't understand it. I guess it was one of those things that's supposed to be more symbolic than anything else. And that's fine. I think I get it. I mean, it's like a circle of life thing, right? I mean, I get it. I think. But I was expecting one of two things to happen at the end, and neither of them happened, and that was just kind of off-put. Like, I was expecting it to be this message about, like, yes, the circle of life, this one will die, this one will move on, yeah, and that kind of is what it was. But we didn't get a clear, definitive answer on whether that final animal, whether Neva dies or not. So, I don't know. I would have liked that, I guess. The other thing is that I've mentioned it several times playing this. This game won the reason I'm playing it is because it won the award for Games for Impact at the Game Awards, which is, it's usually, I'll read it off the websites, but it's like games that have a positive message, that have this progressive message, and it's, you know, I guess that Tales of Kanzerazawa would win that because I played that earlier this year, and it wasn't a perfect game, but it had a very good, solid, very easily articulable and important message about family and about the sins of our fathers. It's I don't want to say any more because I don't want to spoil it, but it's a very good message, even though the game isn't really perfect. This says, for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. So what's the pro-social meaning here? I mean, I know we've got some environment themes, like some climate change possible themes, maybe. We've got, you know, that we need to take care of our animals. And there was a lot of that, like even beyond the dogs, like you're trying to save these other animals, or you're like bringing them back to nature. And then, you know, it's got good representation. That the protagonist is a non-white female, so that's part of it. But you're not going to win that award just for that. So what's the thought-provoking message here? Because the environment climate change thing is important, but it's nothing new, and there were plenty of games this year that came out with that message. My guess is that it would have to be the animal-centric thing, but it didn't really hit that one hard, so I'd have to look into it. I was a little confused by that. Other points, the gameplay itself is pretty good. It's very simple, but it nails the basics. The dodge roll and attack are very satisfying, especially later in the game when you realize that things are starting to be upgraded as your dog gets older and stuff like that. As Neva gets older, I really, really liked that, and learning about those things in the moment, about like, oh, our weapon is a lot more powerful now because our companion is much more powerful. In fact, I would actually say that might be my favorite thing about the whole, well, no, the art direction's my favorite thing about the whole game, but one of the things that I enjoyed the most was learning, like, as your companion matures, that she becomes less of a liability. She stops being a liability and she starts being a real asset, and to the point that she's indispensable. And then there's this point in the game where she leaves you because she's fallen in love with some other antler dog, and the game gets way harder for a little bit. So I thought that accentuation was really interesting. Now the game isn't that complex. The most complexity comes in the form of learning different traversal mechanics, like being able to slash something and then it resets your dashes and you can get up to higher spots and stuff like that, and like climbing and things like that. But it's exceedingly simple, which is by design. Obviously, it's not like if this is trying to be something complicated. I guess it didn't. It actually was surprisingly challenging in some parts. I mean, I died 48 times, which is not nothing. It at certain points in the game, it is pretty challenging, and the game never gives you any additional health or upgrades of any kind. That, like, as far as like stuff you have to earn, the upgrades that you get are stuff that come naturally within the story as it progresses. So there were a couple of bosses that were pretty tough and quite fun because of that, because they were challenging. And I really liked the movesets of the bosses. They were very easily telegraphed. Like the movesets were very clear. It was very clear when you could dodge and when you shouldn't, things like that. But that didn't make it easy. Those are the best bosses, the ones where the moveset's very easily identifiable, but it's still hard to deal with. It wasn't that hard, but it did pose some challenge, so I enjoyed that. I probably would have enjoyed it more had there been more complexity with the fighting, combat, more things like, parry mechanics or more different kinds of attacks instead of just the one or whatever. That would have been... I might have enjoyed that more, but I understand why they wouldn't put that in this game. It's I think part of the point of this game is that it's supposed to be very simple. So I'm not going to fault it for that. I'm just talking about my personal preference. It was a very simple combat system. So overall, I did very much enjoy it. When it comes to those short indie games that you can play in an afternoon, I've played so many of those, and they don't generally rank very well. I think this one's going to rank better than a lot of them because I thought the story is something that's going to stick with me for a little bit longer than some of the others, because it has dogs in it, honestly. And that the art design coupled with the story with this dog you're growing up with is... I'm going to remember it for a lot longer than I would remember some of the other short indie games that I've played like this. And also just because it's just fucking beautiful. It's just a very, very gorgeous game. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's not going to rank in the top 100 or anything, but I did have a good time playing it. I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I got to play it before the year was out so I can consider it when I'm thinking about all my rankings for my favorite games of the year and favorite aspects of games of the year, things like that. So I really did enjoy it. Nice peaceful game after we've been playing a lot of chaotic stuff. Okay, last order of business. NEVA, it has been fun. Thank you for allowing us to play you, but we are now going to delete you from our console and never play you again. Bye! Appreciate ya. NEVA. Sounded like she was saying NEVA the whole time. I started calling her Nubbins at some point. All right, so that's it for NEVA. Last, just brief roadmap for the next few days in case you're interested. Next up, probably later today, we're going to start 9 Souls. I don't know much about it. It came out in, I think it came out in May for PC and then in October for consoles. So it flew under my radar, probably because I don't pay attention to I purposefully ignore PC releases now. I just don't even look at them anymore because sometimes they come out for console and sometimes they don't, and I don't want to get up my hopes up, and I don't play on PC. So I probably didn't look at it because of that, and then it came out I think a couple of months ago for consoles, and those console releases when they're games that are already existing, I don't pay as close attention to. So it flew under the radar, but apparently it's like very Hollow Knight. That's what I've heard. I've heard it compared to Hollow Knight. It's I don't even know if it's a Metroidvania, but I have seen a few seconds of gameplay, and it looks like a Hollow Knight type of game. So it's long. It's 21 hours long, according to how long to beat. So it's a beefy game. How long is Hollow Knight? 27. So it's close to that. So we're going to play that next. I'm excited about that. After we beat that, my plan is to play Super Mario World, because we need to play the next Mario game. That's the next one up. I'm excited to finally get through that, after 30 years of wanting to. And then, more than 30 now, Jesus Christ. And then if we have time, I'd like to try to dip my toes into Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Maybe. I'm actually not 100% sure I'm gonna on that one. I've been waffling on it. And then that'll bring us into January. And then January, we've got a lot of games now that the Game Awards have gone, there have been some announcements, and so we have some new games on the priority list. So I'll just rattle through the priority list real quick here for you. These are the games that I need to play because I'm in preparation for sequels that are coming. Doom Eternal, Deliver Us Mars, Gears Tactics, GTA 5, Greedfall, Industria. The Long Dark is now on that list because a sequel was announced. Mafia 3 Definitive Edition I need to play soon. Ninja Gaiden. I need to play the Ninja Gaiden games because there's a new Ninja Gaiden side-scroller coming out. I don't know if I'll beat those before that one comes out, but the next Ninja Gaiden Sigma is the next one. The Xbox reboot or the deluxe edition of it or something. I don't know. I need to play Okami now. I put Okami on my priorities list because there's a Okami 2 coming now, apparently. Onimusha. I want to put out. There's a new Onimusha game, so I have Onimusha on my franchise list now. I don't know anything about those games, but I know it's Capcom, and it kind of looks like Resident Evil 3, but with samurais or something, or Ronin, or, Shinobis, or one of those things. Outer Worlds. That's been on my priority list for a while, but now it's bumped up to like top priority because there's a sequel that's been announced. And finally, Turok. I don't know if I'm gonna go back and play the original Turok games, but I at least want to play the 08 reboot before the new one comes out. Stay tuned on that. I don't know. So those are the games that I'd like to get to sooner than later. And then the only other games that I'm probably looking at playing, because January's free. We have nothing to play in January except for Eternal Strands. So we're gonna play as many of these as we can. The only other games, there's some other ones that I'm gonna be roping in when I can. Halo 4, Castlevania 64, Final Fantasy 6, Far Cry Blood Dragon, the original Tomb Raider, Mega Man 6. That's it for now. So all of those games, I would like to have all of those games beaten by the end of April. That feels like a tall order, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try. All right, that's it. If you're still here and you watched the whole video, or even if you watched the very end, thank you. I do appreciate you. It means a lot to me. I will see you on the next one, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.